Hi and welcome. I'm Matt Lovell from Centiq, and I am delighted to be joined today by Mark Smith, Head of Azure for Microsoft UK. Mark, thank you for your time and welcome, and it's great to catch up with you again. I just thought it'd be great to share with customers, our SAP on Azure customers, particularly some of the advances, some of the benefits that we're seeing for customers in migrating their SAP workloads to Azure. So it would be great just to catch up and just ask one another a few questions to help customers really understand that.
Cool. No, Matt, absolutely delighted to be here. I think we've definitely been seeing an acceleration of customers on their journey and transformation of their SAP estates, and the great news is we're seeing the higher percentage of that leading towards Azure as a cloud platform. Our relationship with SAP is getting stronger and stronger every day, which is great to hear. And working with amazing partners like yourselves is just a critical aspect to leverage the ecosystem to really draw, so the customers can see the benefits of migrating to Azure as well. But I thought, Matt, that I'd actually start with asking you a question. So you may have been planning that the other way around, but I'm going to start with you. And really see what Centiq's observing is the main benefits of SAP moving to Azure, the time to value, innovation. It'd be great to get your thoughts on that.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I think the accelerated time to value and great innovation are the key benefits to customers. Every customer is looking for agility. They're looking for flexibility, which Azure delivers, completely end to end. But whether it's a lift and shift of the SAP platform into Azure, whether it is a migration to HANA that's driving that, or a full transformation to S4, our typical design to production migration with Azure is 6 months. So we aim to work with customers to optimize the costs, looking at smarter ways to move to subscription, align our services to Microsoft subscription models to minimize that dual running cost. And customers see that immediate increase in innovation cycles and reduction in time to value through and how Azure enables that in the wider ecosystem. So the real emphasis here is complete flexibility from day one, particularly as you migrate into it, and obviously the agility that the new platform delivers and continues to deliver as Microsoft innovate it. It's a really powerful combination of benefits to customers. Do you see that as familiar in trend to the other Azure customer application areas, Mark, if I can spin the question back?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the COVID situation has really accelerated customers' transformation. And I remember right back at the start of lockdown, Satya, our global CEO, made the statement at the earnings call that he said we've seen more transformation in the last 2 to 3 months than we had for the last 3 years. And that's absolutely continued over the last 12 months. We're now 12 months into lockdown, and customers looking at different aspects. They're looking at, okay, what can I lift and shift as the first phase to a cloud transformation? But then they're looking at I'd say the lift, shift, and optimize, because there's no point just lifting and shifting and having almost a mirror of what you did have on your data center in the cloud. It's really about how you're leveraging all the facilities and all the services and the ability, elasticity of the cloud. So we really start seeing that organizations looking to transform as well. And so not just about lift and shift, but actually leveraging all the workloads, all the services that Microsoft have invested so hugely in, that they can then also work and align with their SAP journey as well. And I think what we're seeing is often that the SAP migration is, we often call it their crown jewels. And really want to see how they do that. And if I look at Microsoft ourselves, our own SAP journey, so SAP runs on Azure for Microsoft. We started with a simple lift and shift, but then we went through that transformational journey, and then leveraging all the data and other aspects of that, which is absolutely critical to do that. But I think the most critical aspect for customers is this, as you called out, the speed to migration as well, because people want to see that transformation driving. And we've got many strong customers now that have gone live. Have got SAP in production on Azure, and I think again, back to you around following those successful migrations. How are you seeing customers sustaining the benefits of Azure, and with an updated operating model, embedding the best practices that you're providing?
Yeah, so you touched on a really good point. So what we're seeing, what we're enabling with customers is that new operating model. So Azure customers can quickly leverage SAP on Azure automation. We've been working with Microsoft to provide that through GitHub. And integrations and connectors, and those help sustain integration of data and analytics and accelerate new areas of innovation across the ecosystem of Azure. Whether it be analytics, whether it be data management, key areas of cost, all of that feeds into that operating model and the ongoing optimization. And we're seeing much closer integration of other Microsoft products. And we've seen it with your recent announcement, haven't we, Mark, in terms of the Teams integration into SAP, and as you say, that relationship. And what do you see as, I guess, the next major Azure innovation which could help SAP customers?
I think you touched on a number of aspects there. One, which is I spend a lot of time engaging with customers around GitHub. And more and more customers that I see, or organizations, are actually building their own engineering departments. So I think the GitHub integration and the leverage of GitHub across the whole Azure platform is absolutely critical to that. And the fact that I often say it's the foundational elements that are critical around this as well. A lot of customers have already got significant investments into the Microsoft platform. And when I look at identity and access management, I think it's so important to get that foundation right, as it is with threat protection. We move on to the cloud security, DevOps, cloud management, and then data governance as well. So whilst it's not about what's the future innovation that Azure can provide, I absolutely believe that when organizations are driving the transformation and SAP onto Azure is one of those aspects, getting those foundations right. And you talked about the operating model is critical for that. You then bring in our collaboration tools. So we announced recently that we're going to have Teams and SharePoint integration with SAP. There's going to be more global zones. We've announced Microsoft Viva, which is going to have interconnectivity with SuccessFactors as well, around providing insights and knowledge, learning, connections and collaboration. So really strong integration. So my conversation with the customers around that innovation is all about the entire Microsoft ecosystem on top of the Azure platform that is world class.
Absolutely. And I think, another thing we were looking to emphasize, building on that phenomenal integration, is how using the Centiq future infrastructure framework, we deliver through our 4 pillar models of rationalization, standardization, modernization, and automation. We link into that GitHub repository. We link into all that richness of the Azure ecosystem, whether it's identity and threat management, whether it's data management and optimization, to really accelerate and sustain those transformational benefits to customers as they standardize the whole of the infrastructure. It's not just SAP there. It could be data center infrastructure. It could be other application infrastructure. So absolutely fantastic to catch up with you, Mark. Really appreciate your time and your insights. We've obviously got a joint white paper coming out explaining in more detail how customers can accelerate the benefits of SAP to Azure and the wider Azure ecosystem that it connects into. But thank you, Mark. Thank you for your inputs and insights today. Really great to catch up.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Speak soon.